Dan will be joining us in just a little bit here. And as you can see in the background, we have Calamity Jane with her puppies. So maybe when they're done nursing, we will bring them up here. Some are sleeping and some are eating. She has 9 of them. So welcome back. If you're new here, this is Training Wild Burros, and what we're all about is training donkeys. But today you get a little extra of our life. Dan's going to be joining us real soon. We've had a pretty busy stretch lately. If you've noticed, we were not on for the Go Lives for the last 2 weeks, and that's because I was traveling to Boyd Ranch Mule Days. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the 12 new donkeys that we just got and the upcoming adoption event that we'll be having next month. I also want to talk a little bit about something that comes a lot. It comes up a lot when we're working with wild donkeys or really anything difficult, which is believing in the process, even when things don't seem like they're progressing very fast. And if you guys have worked with donkeys, you know it can really feel like things are not progressing fast. Now, all of you guys that are local or thinking about adopting, we're planning an adoption event on April 18th. So we'll talk a little bit about that tonight as well. But first, let's talk about Boyd Ranch Mule Days. So I won that trip through the 12 Days of Christmas with the Ty Evans 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. So when you sign up for a clinic or you're doing the masterclass, then your name goes into a drawing. So I was lucky enough to have won that. Hey, Meg, how you doing? I got to ride with Meg, guys. She was in the masterclass with me, and it was really cool to be able to meet her in person. So at Boyd Ranch Mule Days, you get to ride with so many cool people. When you sign up for it, I've been to Mule Days in 3 different states now, Arizona, Wyoming, and Montana here. And each of them is set up differently. So at Boyd Ranch, it's a 501c3 nonprofit for the kiddos. So your entry ticket, if you will, to sign up, it includes breakfast and dinner. And then there's rides that you get to go on that are guided. You can also go out on your own and do rides all by yourself. And then last but not least is the Mule Days silly events. And of course, I signed up for those. Now, in other states like Wyoming, that one, I think anybody could still sign up for it, but it was a little bit more for their big giant mule auction. And then here in Montana, the Mule Days, it's just a ton of silly games and you pay for each one that you enter. So each Mule Days I'm learning is set up a little bit differently. So maybe you've gone to a Mule Days in your state. You'll have to put in the comments how they have theirs set up. But Boyd Ranch, Calamity wants out. Boyd Ranch, it's all about helping the kiddos, and they have different programs that they do for the kiddos. So the money that they raise for that is going to help all the kiddos be able to come and do things at Boyd Ranch. And I think that is just very noble thing that they're doing. Like, wow, that's awesome. The games, they had 4 different silly games to do. Nothing was like intense. It's all for fun, guys. So Wild Donkey, she froze, guys, when we got into that arena. And that's okay. We're always just working on doing better than last time. And when I think back to 2 years ago, I couldn't get that donkey to even walk when I brought her to her first event. So getting some progress is a great thing. They had an obstacle course there, which was very, very awesome obstacle course. That was set up. It took about, I suppose 10 or 15 minutes just to walk through it. So it was really weavy, windy. They had different obstacles that you had to step over or go through with the pool noodles. And so that was really fun. Wild Donkey, she froze up on that also, guys. But I did get her to go through the whole thing. We just focused on working on her confidence instead of actually tackling the obstacles. And confidence, if you're working with your own wild donkey, and it doesn't matter if you're teaching them to pick up their feet or lead or do something scary like an obstacle, we're working on building up their confidence. And all of that takes time. Is awesome. Thanks, Meg. We love so we're just working on building up their confidence, and that happens with time. So don't go in there and think, oh my gosh, she did this before. Why isn't she doing this now? Just be like, what are we going to get done today? And then have fun with it. Because when you get to go and have fun with it, you're just going to have so much more of an enjoyable time. rather than going in and being like, why isn't my donkey doing this? Don't worry about that. Just compare to where you guys were last time. And then you know what to work on, where there's any holes in your training. With Wild Donkey Ah, people watching her in the trail course was scary. But she rode in for like the grand opening where you just ride around the arena. Some people were carrying flags. She was totally fine with that. But once we were doing the games and the first pole that she had to walk up to, that was too scary. On the trail, Ah did magnificent. I was like so excited about how well she did on the trail. So I went on rides that were not guided and then rides that were guided. And on one of the rides, we got 2 nice long trots in and 1 lope. We did some like a mini rock hopping, which was like a 10-inch rock. Okay, it was just a big boulder, not very tall. And then 1 little jump that was like knee high. So again, not very high, but I was so excited about how well she did with that stuff. And then on the other trail rides, even just leaving and coming back to and from the ranch where we were staying at, the Boyd Ranch, there was some stairs. The first time I got there, I was like, oh, she was kind of nervous. So I just got off and let her down, and then I walked her up. So if you're dealing with a young animal or it's still learning its balance, it's okay to get off and lead them down. You're there to get them the experience and to get them confidence and know that they're strong. Remember, we are working on the whole package. We need to have access to their mind. We need for them to believe in our leadership. We want to build up their confidence. So if we are like just kicking or just trying to get them go, we're not really building their confidence at that point. So it's okay to slow down, especially with donkeys. Just go ahead and slow down, help make it fun for them. And then each time you're doing stuff, they're gonna have more confidence as you go. The people at Boyd Ranch are absolutely amazing. It was set up. They had entertainment in the evenings. The breakfast was served at a specific time. You could go have coffee. They had showers there, which was great. The different stalls set up, water, they had hoses there. Everything was set up just so nice. It was very well put together. So that was very, very exciting. Sometimes when we're camping at these events, you know, it's dry camping where there is no showers, maybe not even always potable water, but at Boyd, you had it all. It was just terrific. They also had like an auction to help the kiddos, which again, I thought that was really neat that they're out there helping the kiddos. And then you get to ride with really amazing people like Meg, who's watching right now. Oh my gosh. I don't know how Meg, for people to see your artwork, but Meg does drawings. She does paintings. They are amazing. And so if you ever get a chance to check out Meg's paintings, like maybe you want to get one. She does a lot of donkeys, and they are just Meg Bassett Goodyear. I'm your #1 fan. Well, thank you, Meg. So check out Meg. Meg, how do they see your paintings if they want to buy one of your paintings? Maybe you can put it in there so people can see, because they are so cool. I would love to decorate my whole house with them. All right, guys. So now at Boyd Ranch, they had like a live band where you could do dancing, and then they brought in some songwriters, and they sang songs for us, and then the auction. So that was the different evening events, along with the silly games that we did, and then the guided trail rides. So those were all really cool. Now, Dan will be joining us in a little bit, but he's running waters right now because Hannah Banana came over and Reed, and we were playing games. They kicked my butt at Catan. So we were playing games, and we haven't topped off the water troughs. We don't have the access to run our well constantly, so we need to run it in like 5-minute segments. So let's see. So let's talk more about motivation for getting your animals to do. Now, trusting the process. When we go out and we work with our mules, donkeys, or horses, like any of them, guys, even your dogs, like we're gonna start with something that they know, and then we're gonna keep building up to things that are a little bit harder, and then maybe we're increasing their stress a little bit, but within reason, within a healthy reason, and then we're gonna bring them back down to what they already know that's easy. If you think about these little puppies here, I should probably grab one, shouldn't I? Because now Calamity's done feeding them. This is to keep me from getting pooped and peed on. Oh. All right. So right now, hi you. This is just a cute little girl. So right now, whether you're dealing with a cute little puppy or a donkey, they start off knowing nothing, right? And then eventually they're gonna learn not just to nurse from mama, but to eat dog food. So like right now, I'm grinding it up, like I'm putting it in a blender and I'm blending up the dog food for them. Now think about that with your donkeys. Like how small can you make the process of the step of what we're doing? Like maybe you're teaching them to accept a halter. So I'm not just gonna go and throw it on them and have them be scared. I'm gonna make that process like how many little tiny baby steps, and maybe one time I need to write it down. I'll bet you I break down teaching them to halter or pick up their feet. I think I break it down into like 10 or 20 steps, okay? And it's okay. Now, do I always have to break it down into 10 or 20 steps? No. With Wild Donkey, I just walk up and I put her halter on. But even while I do that, I'm checking in to see, like, are you open to being with me right now? Or are you feeling a little off? Because maybe she's telling me that she didn't enjoy our last session, okay? So we're breaking things down. And I think that whether it's a baby person or a puppy, they really help us recognize how small things get broke down. Have you ever thought about, dogs, they can walk right away, right? But they don't really. They kind of crawl. They kind of do this like Superman crawl. And now these guys are starting to walk, but they wobble and they fall down, right? So this is breaking all the steps that we're going to do to teach our donkeys how to be, good citizens, how to help us and help them. And we're going to do that. We're going to help them by trusting the process. And the process is going to start off with a puppy, we need to grind up their food before they're eating real food, real dog food. And with a donkey, instead of just throwing up the halter or grabbing their foot and trying to force them to pick up their foot or kicking and kicking and kicking to get them to walk, we're going to break it down into really small steps to help them trust in what's happening because they just need to trust us. And that's something I think that people so often forget, that it's okay to break things down into a process. With a horse, you're often going to get them to do something because they'll move away from pressure. But with a donkey, they're not so apt to move away from pressure. They're a lot more likely to freeze. And with a mule, they could go either way. It depends on which side of the spectrum. Are they more like their mom or more like their dad? The best way to understand a mule, what Ty says, is to understand the donkey, right? Because most people understand horses pretty well, but not everybody understands how a donkey works. Can you hear her? She's so cute. They're 3 weeks old. Just about. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. So trust the process. It's okay to break things down. And I promise you're not going to have to break down putting a halter on them in 10 or 20 steps after they trust and they understand what you're doing. Because not only do we need to trust the process, our donkeys need to understand what we're asking. So do our mules or our horses. But a donkey, they want more time to think about it, right? And I think the same is true when I'm watching or I'm helping somebody who is working with an animal that doesn't trust being around people yet. I'm sorry, Calamity's like shaking this. A donkey that doesn't trust being around people yet, we're just gonna break everything down into super small steps. Like, are you okay with standing 20 feet from me? Are you okay with eating while I'm near you? Are you okay with me approaching you? Maybe only from the front or maybe only from the side. Like, I'll think a lot of us think that they want to be approached from the side. And that's true, but not always true. So there's always exceptions to the rules. And there's sometimes when I'm working with a wild donkey, they want me straight in front of them. Now, I'm not going to face them, right? Because that is more intimidating to them. But there's some donkeys that they do not want me anywhere near their side to begin with. We need to work towards that. And all of that is okay. Just trust the process that we're going to get there. Just like this little guy, or she's a girl. See, she's wearing pink. Just like this little girl later on is going to be able to run and jump and play. She's going to have adventures. We have to trust that all of that will come and then just be okay with breaking it down into small baby steps. Now, if you guys have questions, make sure you're putting them in the comments because you know I'm here to answer any questions you have along the way. Now, I don't know how long Dan's gonna be down there at the barn for, but we did just bring home 12 new wild donkeys. So I have some that we brought home in like November, December that we're still gentling. And then we have 12 new ones. And then October, pardon me, I just jumped way ahead. April, I think it's 18th is when we're gonna do our first adoption event here at Famous Seamus Farm. So Famous Seamus Farm is the 501c3 nonprofit. And I created that to be able to work with the wild burros. But now that's just gonna be, at this time, mostly just the adoption center stuff. And then gentling is through me. And then sometimes we buy animals to train, and then we find homes for later on. So there's a little bit that's happening just through myself or Dan and I, and then some through the nonprofit. So just a little bit of everything. Now, if you're thinking about adopting a wild donkey, then you would want to go onto the BLM online corral and you apply for it. And you can apply to adopt one, which means it's under 10 years old and it hasn't been through 3 adoption events yet. Once an animal has been through 3 adoption events and not adopted yet, then it becomes eligible for sale authority, or if it's over 10 years old, it's eligible for sale authority. So then that's different ways. Like I have a lady from Canada who's gonna be getting a couple donkeys, and because she's in Canada and they can't leave the country until they've been adopted and they have the title, so she has to look at sale authority animals instead of adoption animals. And then hopefully next month we'll be going to get another load. And all of that is just dependent upon what the BLM has available for us. Now, make sure again, if you have any questions, let us know. So right now, right when we, Dan was getting home. So I got home from Boyd Ranch Mule Days on Monday, and then Dan left on Tuesday to go get the donks. So he got home and it was snowing out again. So thankfully it was only like the last 10 miles that there was snow coming down, but when we unloaded, it was dark. And he got home safe and sound, so that's all good. And it's just a hodgepodge of different donkeys in there. They are cute. One of them has a broken ear where it's pointed down. It's not like I can get close enough to see like what happened, but I've seen that sometimes before. I don't even know how their ears break, but sometimes they do. But he's cute. Cute little guy. And then there's some bigger ones that will be good for packing or, you know, being somebody's best friend. So if you're thinking about adopting and you're not sure that you're up for gentling, I have like over 1,000 videos on gentling donkeys. So those videos are here to help you along the way. And then you guys know that I have extra videos for members or coaching if you're wanting extra help to help you along your journey or understand how to read their body language. Now, when we were talking about the process earlier, I think something that comes up a lot is people don't understand how to read the process. I said that wrong. People don't understand how to read donkey's body language. So something that I didn't know, if their top lip is sticking out further than their bottom lip, that's stress, okay? Sometimes if their lips are just flush with each other, that could be stress or relaxed. But if their bottom lip is hanging down and just kind of chilling, then that's a very relaxed donkey, okay? So that's one sign that you can see. Another thing is if one of their nostrils is bigger or crooked, that's a sign of stress. This was kind of interesting. So at Boyd Ranch Mule Days, I brought Wild Donkey Ah and then Stormy because I'm still conditioning Wild Donkey Ah to build a ride and to try to help her keep up with the mules or horses. Now, to help make sure that I kept all of this fun for her, I didn't want to sour her to riding. So because of that, I brought Stormy and then I alternated. Each one was rode every other day. Now, the first day I was riding Stormy, I was just doing some groundwork with them before we started to ride. And for the first time ever, I've had him for almost 21 years. For the first time ever, I noticed that his nose was crooked. I'm like, oh, you're a little stressed, huh? And that's okay. He can be a little stressed. But it's just good for us to be aware. That doesn't necessarily mean we need to change anything, but we need to be aware of how they're feeling because we want them to be working with us as a team. We want to be like, we think it and they do it. And you really can get to that point with your donkeys, your horses, your mules, where you think it and they do it, but it really does take a lot of effort. So you have to be willing to put in the time. There's magic to working 3 days in a row. And when you're working with a truly wild donkey, I really like to work with them every single day, because at first they need that consistency of every day, even if it's only 15 minutes. It's hard to only do 15 minutes. It's kind of like eating a potato chip. You just can't have one. But you go down there and you do a little bit of time with them, give them a break so they can process what they learned and decide if they felt safe or if that was really as scary as they originally thought. And then each time you're going to be able to do more. But with a wild donkey, if you were working with them only 3 days a week, they're not going to make a lot of progress because they need that consistency at first. Now, like wild donkey, she is tamed. She was wild, but now I don't have to work with her every single day for her to stay where she's at. So don't think that you have to do that forever, but at first you do. And how much time you're going to have to do that every single day is kind of up to the donkey. As you guys know, we've had many donkeys graduate the training program, which they need to accept touch, brush, halter, lead, pick up all 4 feet, and get in and out of the trailer. So I've had donkeys will graduate and have graduated that program in about a month. And then I have other ones that I don't even hardly have first touch on, or I'm not putting the halter on, in over 2 or 3 months. They're all different. When we go at their speed to help them build up their confidence, what we teach them is really going to be a lot more lasting. You're going to have a lot better chance of them remembering it in a year from now or 4 years from now. Later on, you're going to be able to work with them less often than every single day. But if you're working with a wild one, be prepared to put in time every single day to help them. She says she's tired. Now, let me think. Do you guys have any questions yet? Something that's been coming up lately is, what should I be teaching them? And I think that anytime you bring home a donkey, mule, or horse, you want to make sure that they can do the basic things. And that is haltering, leading, picking up their feet, going in and out of the trailer. Vet time is going to be coming up, spring around the corner. Doing shot training is a great thing to do. And shot training, you guys know that I use... some people call it treats, but I call it pay. And the reason I call it pay is they don't get it for being cute. So I would come and maybe just with my finger, I'd push on them and I would do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deet. And then I give them pay, right? And I do that. And then later on, maybe I'll use like a pen or something pointy, or a hoof pick, something pointy. And I do that to help them not associate the pressure. You know, we give them their shots, or the vet does, in their neck, or drawing blood. I like to do this to help them not fear that pressure that they feel because they got the halter on, they were wild, or even sometimes domestics get really nervous about that. So this is a good time to do that. When you're down there working with your donkeys, even if you just do it 1 or 3 times, you're making progress towards helping them feel comfortable with that action. Like maybe your animal is only used to having one person be around it. And if you have a domestic, that's probably not the case, but with a wild, that's how they start off. So they're used to just you being there, but now you're going to bring in a stranger. Stranger danger is real. And then they're like maybe at a different angle than you normally are. So helping your donkey get used to all that different stuff is going to help your vet visit go better. Because this is going to be long before you have it like leading super well or super comfortable with a lot of strangers. Just be prepared to put in a little extra time, and just that where the vet would put them, like maybe you pinch their skin a little bit or press your finger in, do the countdown because we need for the needle to be there long enough to give them the shot, and then give them the pay. And again, you don't always have to do that, but it's a good way to set them up for success. Now, if you guys ever get a chance to go to Boyd Ranch Mule Days, I'm going to hop back over to that. Totally go to it. That was a great experience. A lot of great people that really care about their animals. And they're fun to be with, fun to talk with. And that's the kind of people I like to hang out with. Like, that is just such a good time. Now, remember, there's one in nearly every state. So even if you're not at Boyd Ranch, there's probably a Mule Days near you. And Dan just got in from doing water and throwing a little extra hay. I think we're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon, Dan.
Okay, real quick.
Okay. So we have this fence dividing the house so that Calamity and Cooper can have like, you see the fence back there? So we're dividing the house so that Calamity and Cooper like can have peace, right? We don't want Calamity to be worked up or nervous. And we want Cooper to be able to enjoy his life too. So we divided the house with the fence. We just made Calamity's whelping pen bigger because the puppies are growing so fast. They were born on the 24th, so I think they're 3 weeks old on Monday or Tuesday.
3 weeks on Tuesday.
3 weeks on Tuesday.
Oh, you're holding a killer there, huh?
Oh yeah. We gotta get Calamity to not knock the camera. Come over here, Clam. There you go. How did it go down there at the barn?
Icy. The well head was, the handle was froze up, so I had to get the weed burner out.
Oh no.
But we're good now.
It's real obstacles living where it's cold out, guys.
Yeah,
the water spigots.
The new donkeys discovered the water because the tank was already half. I never seen that much water gone in one night.
Oh really? So we top off waters every single night, and sometimes the wild donkeys are so afraid to drink from a water trough. It's like, I don't know this water trough, and they think a monster's in it.
They do. They do. And some drank from the second trough.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So they've been exploring.
Did any of them come and smell your hand or anything?
There were some that are pretty curious.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a couple of jewels mixed in this herd. That's for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there, Meg. This is Meg. You remember I talked about Meg?
Yeah. Hey, Meg, how you doing?
Mule and donk people are the most fun, humble, and happy people to be around.
Yeah.
Hope you'll be back to Boyd next year.
They do keep you humble.
They do keep you humble. Oh my gosh. Wild donkey, she kept me humble this time. Because she froze up so many places. Isn't that face cute? Oh my gosh. So wild donkeys, when you bring them home, some of them will be curious pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then others like Richard, they're like, nope, I have no interest. Meg says, hey, Dan.
We've got donkeys down there from a December load that are less curious than ones that got here late Thursday night. They haven't even been around people and are already more curious than some of the other students we have in our school.
And that's where you really have to remember to trust the process, because the process is the same, but how fast you move through the process changes for every animal.
Yes. You've got, I guess it'd be like teaching humans. I mean, some humans just got it, and we've all met that person who learns everything real fast, or not afraid of nothing, and there's some that may struggle with tasks that you think are simple but are difficult to them. Donkeys are the same way. They're all different mentalities, possibly intellect. I've never IQ tested a donkey.
That'd be curious.
Yeah, if some are smarter than others, or if they just have different temperaments, or a combination of both.
I think some are smarter than others.
Yes, I think so too.
And I think, though, there's a big part that some donkeys have less fear. So, like, when I'm working with a wild donkey who's willing to kick me, I'm just like, oh, yeah, you're probably my guy. You're my girl. Because I think that donkey is going to be so brave when we start doing stuff where wild donkey freezes so much. So you got the tuck-in runners, or the ones that will be like, I could kick your head off if I wanted to.
Yep.
Well.
So did I miss what I miss?
I talked about Boyd Ranch. I talked about the adoption event and the puppies a little bit, and then the process. You know how. So every week, if you guys are new, each week I try to do like a motivation kind of topic. So sometimes it could be a book or hand warmers if you live in the north.
Yeah.
But this time it's about the process.
Okay.
Like Wild Donkey, I mean, you haven't seen the pictures or videos of all the stuff that we did, but we were trying to go through where there's pool noodles on both sides of us, and she would freeze up. Like, we were back to just, will you walk on this trail without freezing? And she was doing the obstacle course just fine until the day that we got back, and there was other people riding through it, and she thought that was scary. Like, it doesn't really make sense why that was scary to me. I mean, I don't understand why she was afraid of that, but she was. So then it just tells me, slow down, trust the process, she'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going through the same thing. Like, you get out there on the trail and your animal's not the same as they normally are. Or,
Right.
Absolutely. And then we got these cute little Bambinos.
They're so
Oh.
quiet. What'd you do to them?
Calamity fed them. She was feeding them when we first started.
Okay. There's a big pile grunting.
Oh, no, I can't see them. All right, guys. If you guys don't have any questions, then I suppose we'll probably be done.
Okay, well,
But next week we should be having some cool updates because we'll have started working. Well, we're not going to start working with the new donks yet because I really want to get like Richard and Red,
yeah,
Elton, John,
Yeah.
these guys all good to go.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's some that are pretty close, like Tony and 35, I think, are pretty close.
Yeah.
35, he doesn't have a name yet, but a pastor, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Is adopting him. And then the pastor does this like reach out program to kiddos. So he brings the donkeys to the school. Some of them go inside the school. And then like the kids read books to the donkeys. Like, I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
So he wants a second one. He already got one from us, but a little girl fell in love with it, so he sold it. But he wants the second one, so I'm really watching for one that's going to be brave. I want one of those that's just totally brave, so that way it won't struggle much, like going into the schools and stuff. That can be scary for him.
Yeah.
So these donkeys end up by doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
You getting peed on yet?
No, not yet.
You're due.
I'm due to get peed on.
Well, this puppy has to be on TV and everyone else is sleeping.
Right? But look at her little eyes. They're still all cloudy. All right, guys. Do you have anything else to add to the
I
goal
do
line
not.
today?
I do not. I'm not very creative today.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, guys. We'll be back next week on Sunday. We'll be back on schedule at 6:30. And then I cannot believe it. It's still light out.
It's it's after 7. The sun's just setting.
So maybe we'll have to start bringing some donks up into the into Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not too muddy up there, I suppose.
Mud is the polar opposite of snow, but it does the same thing.
So if I'm bringing the donkeys up to Jurassic Park, the dogs won't be in there, of course, but bring them up into Jurassic Park to work on something. It would have to be one that is domestic or trained already. You taking the puppy from me?
Yeah. Sweetie, how you doing?
What kind of stuff would you guys want to see? Like if there's something you're having trouble working through, or you want to understand better how to slow the process down more, then we can work on that stuff. So you guys just need to let us know what kind of stuff you want to see, because none of the ones that are in the gentling program, they're not ready yet to come up here.
Be exciting though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it totally would, yeah. But like I could bring Wild Donkey or Famous Seamus. I could bring Holler. Holler would be a good one. She's pushy.
Yeah.
She needs some groundwork.
She'd be funny to have on TV.
Huh, maybe I should bring Holler up next week. I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's getting licked by a puppy. Do you guys let your dogs lick you or not? Do you know who does?
No.
Yeah, you do.
A couple little kisses here and there don't hurt. I ain't no dang lollipop, right? Yeah.
All right, I'm thinking Holler next week up in Jurassic Park.
That would be funny.
The snow should be all melted by then.
It should be, yeah.
Okay, so next week, if you have a pushy donkey and you want to know how to work through it, we'll have, my intention is, I'm not promising, but my intention.
Yeah, if we can pull this off.
Yeah.
When it comes to pushy domestic donkeys, I think she's the pushiest I've met.
When we're out there
Yeah.
just doing stuff in the pasture, I'll put her in a wild pen if I'm not working with her because she is so annoying pushy. She's sweet, she's loving, she's just in your face pushy.
Yeah, she wants to be a puppy.
And the reason we would do it up here instead of at the barn is we don't have any cell phone service at the barn, kind of live remote. So
Yeah.
that's where we could get cell phone service to do a good live there. All right, guys, you guys have a wonderful, awesome, amazing week, and we'll see you next week at 6:30 in Jurassic Park.
Yes, that would be if we can pull it off, it'll be a good time. Yeah.
Will be. All right, have an awesome night.